मध्येच कॉल नको आहे तुम्ही केलं का बॅग मध्ये म्हणाली करत बॅग मध्ये लगेच तिला बोलून आले हा इथेच ही विषयाच हीच आहे कोणाला बोलू हा ठीक आहे बस एक 15 मिनिटं चालू झालं की लगेच 5-10 मिनिटं
घेऊया तिथून मग खाली सायन्स एक्झिबिशनला जाणार आहेत सगळे तिथं घेऊन मग वर येऊ या
नाही बरं म्हणजे तुमची पर्सनल
आणू का लगेच ते सांगितले तुम्ही चेक करा सांगू यायला 5-10 मिनिटं सांगू खरं
हो हो पाण्याची बॉटल नाही ते टाकलं मी पण ट्रेन आणि आपण ह्या पुढे गेल्यावर आपण घेऊन घेणार ना आपलं परत जाणार आहे इथं खाली एका मित्र इथं
Morning, one and all. Hello. Welcome to this national conference in advances in science, engineering, and technology for sustainable development organized at Government College of Engineering. We are shortly starting the inaugural ceremony. Just waiting for the guests. I request all the audience to rise and welcome as the guests are arriving for the inauguration ceremony. Please rise and welcome with a round of applause. I request all the dignitaries, please occupy the seats on the right. A warm welcome to all. I myself, Vaishali Bogar, Assistant Professor in Applied Mechanics Department. I request all the dignitaries please occupy the seats on the dais. warm welcome to all. Myself, Vaishali Deodar, Assistant Professor in Applied Mechanics Department, and I am Dr. Priyanka Shinde, Assistant Professor in MCA Department. We both take the privilege to welcome two chief guests of the program, Mr. Shahad Jagdare, Chairman and Managing Director at Shrink Electric Limited, our guest of honor, Dr. Ravindra Birajdar Sir, Vice President at Kirloskar Brothers Limited, Puri, our special invitee, Mr. Samant Sir, Managing Director at KPML and PKFL, all heads of the department, deans, faculty members, delegates, on behalf of Government College of Engineering, Karad, welcome and good morning all. While celebrating 75 years of progressive India, we are happy to organize this national conference to provide a platform to the researchers, contributors in the domain of energy, mobility, environment, and data science that will lead to sustainable development. The great scientist Albert Einstein has said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we created them. Man has created many problems in pursuit of development. Hence, we need to use different thinking process to achieve environmental stability. Today, our biggest threat is the climate change and energy crisis. Our very survival depends upon how quickly we embrace planet-friendly renewals like solar, wind, hydrogen, green and clean energy ensures healthy living for all. We, the people living on this beautiful earth, have to hold ourselves accountable for our actions, and that's how we are going to protect and support global ecosystem, which will foster health and well-being for all today and for future. We are aware that our government has launched Make in India movement since recent years. The government has also coined Atmanirbhar Bharat mission to initiate and mobilize Indian youth for more contributions towards national GDP. Research contributions and innovations in these areas will make energy affordable. Therefore, transition from old energy to new green and clean energy is not an option, it's an urgent imperative, and this will lead to earth-friendly industrial revolution. That is the motto of organizing this conference, and hope this expectation will be fulfilled in this program. Now, according to our holy tradition, we invoke the Almighty at the beginning. Let us light the holy lamp and worship Goddess Saraswati. So, I request all the guests to move for the auspicious ceremony and audience to please rise at their place.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you, Piyusha, for the very serene start of this inauguration ceremony.
Our program is live on our YouTube channel.
Now, we are honored to have distinguished personalities from industry and research. So it's our privilege to have with us chief guest of the program, Mr. Shahad Jagdai, Chairman and Managing Director at Shrink Electric Limited, who has been constant source of inspiration, guidance, and contributed a lot in college advancement. May I request to Principal Dr. A.T. Pise sir to welcome Mr. Jagdai sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request convener of the program, Dr. Shamija Purudemadam, to welcome the guest of honor for today's program, Dr. Ravindra Birarda, Vice President of the Gaskar Brothers Limited, Pune, who is one of the pillars of KDL. Thank you, sir, for spending your time with us and gracing the occasion. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, our special guest of today's program, Dr. Saman Sir, Managing Director at KPML, may I request to Organizing Secretary of the program, Dr. Suhas Deshmukh Sir, to welcome Dr. Saman Sir. Thank you very much, sir. The spine of the program, the chairman of this program, Dr. A.T. Pise sir, I request convener of the program, Dr. Shamija Purudemadam, to elicit Principal Dr. A.T. Pise sir for all the support and guidance given for this organization of this conference. Thank you, sir. Welcome and thank you. Now, our special guest, Kulkarni sir, may I request to Deshmukh sir, please welcome and felicitate to Kulkarni sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Now, the most cherished moment for this conference, that is the publication of proceedings. So I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward. Before that, I request Priyanka to focus on the research, importance of research. Knowledge without application is simply knowledge. Applying the knowledge to one's life is wisdom, and that is the ultimate virtue. This conference provides a platform to get opportunity to enhance our knowledge and understanding. We look forward to get an exposure to what the brain thinks about research and innovation for the future. To give more insights of the conference, I request convener of the programmer, Dr. Shailaja Kurode Madam, to brief about the conference.
Very good morning and warm welcome to all of you. Today's chief guest, Mr. Jagdal, guest of honors, Dr. Birazdar from ABL, Mr. Samant from APML, Mr. Kulkarni, chairman of this conference, Honorable Dr. A.P.P. Singh, dignitaries of the dais, my faculty colleague, dear students and participants. It indeed gives me an immense pleasure to greet you all on this inaugural occasion today. Well, it is a very well-known fact that science, engineering, and technology are meant for better life of human being. We have witnessed remarkable development and miraculous progress in every sector. However, today we are grappled with the worries about disastrous climate change, worries about pollution, water shortage, and power shortage. What science and technology can do to preserve the nature. The whole world is investigating pathways towards the sustainable development. What we, the GCATians, can do to share, to care, and to prepare towards the contribution for sustainable development. This thought was the inspiration behind this gathering. This thought was the inspiration for organizing this national conference to commemorate 75 years of independence of progressive India. 4 to 5 decades ago, we didn't have electricity at many places in India. We had to use lanterns. During my childhood, we had only 2 lanterns, oil lanterns. And I used to get fight with my siblings for who should use lantern for the studies. That time, my grandmother used to tell that, look, nature has gifted us something more. Nature has gifted us eternal God's lamp, the sun. Use it effectively and efficiently. We need to respect nature. Indeed, we need to preserve nature by respecting nature. We need to respect nature for sustainable future. And with this tagline, respect nature for sustainable future, this conference has been organized. The motivation was to bring all researchers, academicians, practitioners, industry persons, and students together to share and contribute towards sustainable future. So I'm happy to welcome all the participants for this conference. Now it's the time for 2 day celebrations. It's a time for sharing contributions. It's a time for fruitful interactions. And it's a time for useful research collaboration and much more for sustainable future. Have a nice proceedings and have a nice stay here. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Indeed, need of the hour to conserve our planet Earth. Otherwise, and we have to maintain our resources for today as well as for future generations. Otherwise, the generation will not forgive us if we exploit the nature as we are as the things are going on. So hopefully this conference will really play the role of not only just presenting and listening, but also sharing and exchanging.
Now, all the dignitaries on the dais, please come forward for a publication of proceedings of the conference.
From the same place, until
कैमरा पकड़ना zoom कर लो.
all please give a big round of applause. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, I would like to request Dr. A.T. Pise sir, Government College of Engineering, Karad, please address the gathering.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you. Today's chief guest, Shahad Sakari, Virazar from the KBL, Saman Kulkarni, and organizing secretary, convener, participants from all over the country, my colleagues, and my dear students. Is to promote the technical education, late Prime Minister Yashwantrao Chavan has developed this college in 1960 with three branches: civil, mechanical, electrical. Then 67, there is addition of the 5 PG courses are done. Then 93, unique program of the MCA, Master of Computer Application, is started. Then 2001, late Pramod Mahajan has started the IT branch into the Maharashtra of the every government college. And this one of the college we have started this 2001 IT. Then 2007, when electronics and telecommunication branch is added. Then last year, 2018, we have started 2 PG courses of the computer science engineering and design engineering or mechanical. Then college, we have seen that till 2015, colleges under the Shivaji University, Kolhapur, University pattern we are running. After 2015, we have become autonomous and we have changed our case. We have changed curriculum or all this to the according to the need base. So 2015, this college is 2006 first accreditation cycle is done. Then 2015, out of 11, 10 programs are accredited. Then third cycle of the accreditation is done in last year. We have our 5 UG program, 4 UG programs are accredited. One program is still accreditation, while 5 PG programs we have submitted staff eligible programs. Then in TechUp 2 means quality improvement program of the World Bank. We have in TechUp 2 we have come into the state first rank into the state. We have consumed near about 16 crore rupees and we have changed the infrastructure of this college. While same trend is happening in TechUp 3. TechUp 3 we have stood in performance audit in second into the nation while first into the state. So after 15, we have ranked something into the ranking of the college, into the all over India, and different ranking agency recognize this college as the one of the premier college of the this. In TechUp 2, TechUp 3, we have organized a lot of number of STDP, staff development programs, national conferences, all this. So, after this pandemic situation, this COVID last 2 years, 1.5 years, we are in facing the pandemic situation of this COVID. After COVID, we have decided to organize this one of unique conference, this with sustainable development in view of occasion of the celebration of the 75th years of the independence of the India. So, Swatantracha Amrit Mahotsav. Under the guidance of the Director of Technical Education, Maharashtra government, this is unique conference we are organizing jointly all together departments, first time with the theme of the sustainable development in engineering domains of engineering and technology. These 2 days you will get levels of different research areas and also interaction with stalwarts of various key research zones. In the field of civil, mechanical, electrical, ENTC, and IT, it is, I am sure that all of you get benefits from this conference and will take definitely new ideas, exposures of recent trends in research. I assure you, on behalf of organization of the committee, you will get experience of the great hospitality from us and will enjoy 2 days stay in Kharagpur. I wish great success for this conference and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Pranali and Kashmira to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving this wonderful opportunity to me. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the today's chief guest, Mr. Shahajirao Jagdale sir, founder, chairman, and managing director of Shrimp Electric Limited. Since last 7 years, as the IEEMA production statistics, Shrimp occupied top position for the production of HP capacitors in the country. Also, sir has worked as senior engineer with Premier Automobiles and Tele. His achievements have been recognized by many different awards, including National Award for Quality Product in 1997 by the hands of President of India, Export Excellence Award, Outstanding Achievement Award, and many more. I am fortunate enough to call upon today's chief guest, Mr. Shahajirao Jagdale sir, to address audience regarding the conference.
Good morning, everybody. Honorable Dias, all faculty members of the college, and ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely happy to be young audience, and I am happy because I am born pre-independence. When independence was there, I was in first standard, and remember to have some sweets on my hand. So that's how I remember my Independence Day. I have traveled throughout the world because I am a farmer's son, so I like nature, and not only the nature outside, but nature within. You understand what I am saying? Understanding within is a real human value. Being an engineer throughout my career, I have witnessed the development, so massive development. But I feel that development, what we are achieving today or throughout the world, it is not going to be sustainable. Why I am saying? Because human is the only, I should say, species who have more destruction abilities. And that ability he has reached through science and technology. But somehow we are illiterate to enrich our nature, because we are living today on the elements of nature, and we are destroying at every space of life. So you will say this person is talking, or what is the solution? To me, the solution is you have to go within, make yourself so sustainable, so energetic, so that you can contribute to the nature, contribute to the society. Second thing, what I think is, we are all energy based. All living species is energy based. The human is gifted so much, so he can live himself such a way to sustain, reduce your energies within and outside. And energy reduction, and there are so many ways, and luckily we are belonging to the science and engineering and technology background. So I feel that within ourselves we have got so much capacity. That capacity should be utilized more energetic, efficient way. I'll quote one thing, one quote here. A Chinese philosopher, Tao. I think Tao is a maybe about 20 centuries before. I don't know. But he has said that time, we are living in abundance and we are going to live in abundance. So, if you see within ourselves or without outside ourselves, ocean we have not exploited, earth we have exploited maximum, space is also not exploited, but started to be, we have started exploiting the space. And you can see the beauty of space. we are having communication, so many things from the space. So don't think that we have lost everything. No, we are yet to start and make our life and our world more sustainable. So this is only way, and that young people like you have ability to do it. I just came across the resource because we are living in resource crunch. So that resource also is a very important. So young people should always think how the resources can be more efficiently used so they can give more. Anyway, this is I wish all the best to your conference, and I hope that you will take away from this conference with more knowledge and understanding. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for guiding us. I now take immense pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Ravindra R. Saman, sir. He is Managing Director at Karat Projects and Motors Limited, Karat. KPML is working into stator, rotor, and motor manufacturing. Sir had joined KPML in 2013 as CEO. He was promoted as MD in October 2014. In 2016, he became MD for second capital group company, TKSL Kolhapur. Ravindra sir has completed graduation in electrical engineering and post-graduation in operations management. He is certified MOST trainer, Six Sigma Green Belt, and leadership development program. He also worked with companies such as Stetomat and Special Machine Private Limited Mumbai, Crompton Greaves Goa, KSB Pumps Sinnar. He has 30 years of vast experience in the areas such as production, planning and control, purchase and engineering, and he worked as a plant head also. I now request Mr. Ravindra Saman sir to guide us. Please, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. Respected dignitaries sitting on the dais, advisory committee members, staffs and students. Thank you for the kind introduction she has given. I think this is a unique way of celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav through this arranging like conference like this. And this will help your students to interact with industry experts or researchers from various parts of the India. Now, coming back to this conference on what we talk about advances in engineering technology. So I'll talk about energy because energy has become a critical issue for all of us. Because of the war is going on, the prices are going up, and as Mr. Albert Einstein said, energy cannot be created nor it be destroyed. Only it can change its form. So one way is to produce a sustainable energy or convert the energy into in a sustainable way. And other way is to preserve or how to minimize the consumption. So if you see, I'll come to the India. In India, our daily production is around 400 gigawatts, and more than that, there is a demand. And out of this 400 gigawatts, 63% comes from the fossil or non-renewable energy sources. Like coal contributes to around 56%, oil and gas contributes to around 7%. But if you see, this is the most polluting way of creating energy. If I tell you some statistics, carbon emission, which we call, if we produce 1 gigawatt energy per hour, the energy carbon dioxide emission, CO2 emission is around 820 tons per hour. So you can imagine how polluting is this source, but unfortunately, we are heavily dependent on this. If you come to the gas generation, it comes to 490 tons. So this is one way of producing energy, and which unfortunately accounts till around 63% of India's energy production. Balance 37 comes from the renewable energy. In that, around 13% is hydropower, like our Koyana Dam is there, where CO2 emission is around 34 tons. Solar and wind contributes to around 10.5%. Nuclear contributes to less than 2%. So this is how the 100% basket comes for India. And nuclear, people say, okay, it's a dangerous, but it is the most cleanest way of energy generation. So we have to, as a India, we have no option but look at that option also to generate energy as a sustainable future for this. Now, if you see the transmission and distribution losses, though India has progressed very well, but still the transmission and distribution losses are around 20%. It means if we produce 1 unit, around 0.8 comes to the end consumer. So earlier they were around to the tune of 35 to 40%, but they are gradually coming down. Now, if we move to the renewable energy, yes, everybody is focusing on solar, but most of the panels are getting imported from China. So we have to look at the production of solar panels in India. Fortunately, India has a lot of solar power available. Wind power is also there, but you can see the wind power is taking a back seat and solar is getting front seat. But again, the storage becomes an issue. Energy storage, because solar power you can generate in the daytime only, in the night, and your consumption may not be there because peak consumption starts after 6 p.m. So we need to work on energy storage system also. Companies like Bosch, they are working on the fuel cells technology. I will tell you the energy storage cost has come down in last 10 years from around 684 US dollars per kilowatt hour to 132 US dollars. So almost it has come down to 17-16%. So there is a good progress made by the company, and companies are working on that also to reduce the storage cost so that we can increase the output of our solar panels. So this is the one way. One is production, then the second is the storage. Companies like Cummins, they are working on the hydrogen, which is the latest technology. Mr. Gadkari is pushing us to use biofuel or ethanol. Already we have reached a 10% blending. Now the target is 20%. And in India, we have good amount of ethanol is also available. One is this generation, second is storage. We have discussed transmission. Now coming back to the consumption. See, in India, there is a study says more than 30% of the power generated gets consumed by electric motors. So the electric motor can be having different applications, like your air conditioners have motors, pumps have motors. So every form of energy needs to be converted into mechanical, and that's why motor becomes an important role. We at KPML, we produce electrical motors and motor parts. Few years back, Indian government banned use of IE1 electrical motors. That is the lowest efficiency motors which we were producing and using across India, and then shifted the norm to IE2 norms. So you may be knowing what is in general what happens if your losses are 100%. If you reduce these losses by 20%, then you are moving to the next efficiency level. So Indian government banned use of IE1 motors and they made it compulsory to use IE2 motors. In KPML, we were proactive enough to launch these motors well ahead of time, but we are not stopped there. Then by that time, because Europe had put a norms of use of minimum I3 motor condition, Europe and US. So we started development of I3 motors. That time people were saying that you have to use magnets, permanent magnets, otherwise you cannot achieve this efficiency. But our company and our engineers developed these I3 motors using same induction motor technology with aluminum die-cast rotor, not even copper. So these were launched successfully. We were using it. After that, the norms went to the I4 norm. The I4 motor standard came, though it is not implemented in India, but it is going to come. So there, people were saying you must use magnets or you have to use copper die-cast rotors. Now, if you do copper die casting, it needs to be done in controlled environment because it should be oxidation free. So it is a quite tedious process. So again, we set up a challenge internally that we should develop I4 efficiency motors also with the same technology using aluminum die-cast rotor. And let me tell you proudly that our engineering team developed these I4 motors also with the same induction technology. in aluminum diapers. Another risk was there because you know the China threat. So people and most of the world's production of magnets happens in China, more than 80%. Something gets produced in Taiwan and something gets in Australia. But all the whole world is dependent on China. So this technology, we need a drive also. If you use permanent magnets, you need to use drives. So that is an additional cost to the motor. But these motors, I4 motors in induction technology with aluminum die casting, need this. They don't need this drive. But these motors are working well and they are successfully working across the board in various applications. Now there is a concept of BLDC motors also. That is again, but it uses magnets, brushless DC motors. But it has certain advantages also based on the speed torque. But again, again we are dependent on magnets. In that also, new technology is emerging. That is called as a PMSM technology, which is a hybrid technology between induction technology and magnet technology. And I think already as a industry institute partnership, we already offered this project to your college, and your alumni is heading our engineering team. Even one of our plant head is also from this college. So I hope this project will move on very fast and successfully. And we are here to support you. I can assure you that as a KBL Group company, uh, we are ready to support this engineering college in best possible manner. And one of this is to start this project. So I wish all the best for all your students for this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable guidance with us. It's a great privilege for me to introduce the guest of honor of today's program, Dr. Ravindra Birazdar, Vice President and Head Corporate Research and Engineering Development, Kirloskar Brothers Limited. He has secured his graduation and master's in mechanical engineering and PhD in global leadership management from Carnegie Mellon University, USA. He has 34 years of experience in the area of research and development. He has developed many innovative products at par with international level, especially high pressure multi-stage pumps, canned motor pumps, firefighting pumps, and many more. He is awarded with Best Innovative Award for the development of FM and UL listed firefighting pump by Government of India and also awarded for development of energy efficient products. It is such an honor to have you today with us. Now I request Dr. Ravindra Birazdar, sir, to express his views about conference.
Dignitaries on the dais and faculties of this college and faculties who were came from all across the country and students and participants of this particular conference. So it gives me immense pleasure to be part of this particular conference because I am alumni of this particular college and I passed out from this college in 1985. And I am happy to share that this college has played a lot of role in building my personality where I am today. So I don't shy away from sharing this particular uh, success to this particular college. I'm very happy to be part of this. And fortunately, Dr. Anil and Dr. Patil were part of during my college tenure during this particular college. So today I am talking about different topic, and it is how do we really, having spoken Jagdali sir and Samant sir about specifically about sustainability and how do we really conserve the energy and how what cares need to be taken to really be a better world for us and generation to come. But I would be talking little different than what they have really shared their thoughts. My topic for this particular program, and today I'm going to speak about is how do we really collaborate industries and academic institutes for sustainable future. So as both of them have shared that there is a really crunch in the resources as well as the energy, and we need to really start hard how to really make it better so that we conserve energy and make a better place for tomorrow. So there is a really serious need that industries and academia should come together and address some underlying challenges like this. So these are actually academia and industry are really working in different worlds altogether, and it is need of the time to really join hands. And the ideologies and purposes of both the institutes are really different. But however, the rapid pace of change and outside environment is compelling that two different entities have to come together and address and solve the some of the real world challenges. That is the need of the time. With growing economy, India is witnessing the growth in education sector. That is very important, and we have got a lot of growth in education sector. And Indian industry, though there is a growth in education sector, but Indian industry is not really convinced about the job readiness of the graduates, and leading to a lot of unemployment. And we have to bridge the gap between academia and industry. And but at the high level, I feel that engineering colleges should be fine-tuned to ensure that skills like entrepreneurship, business acumen, and managing small-scale industries or businesses are included and are part of curriculum. I strongly believe that such conferences will really help us and to overcome the gap between industry and industries. And as I said, there is a huge gap between the kind of skills and the kind of competencies are required for industry, and those are being supplied by the institution by higher education. So we have been noticing that because a lot of colleges are coming up, even IITs are there, IIMs are there, and still there is a gap. And there is an excess supply of engineers and managers through IIMs or maybe NITs, and who are technically qualified but do not find enough opportunities for the seeking the job. That is the reality. They do not feel comfortable to work in small scale and medium enterprises. So most of the time, once it is graduated, we wanted to get into the corporate role. But here becomes a really conflict between the aspirations of the job seeker and the whosoever wanted to employ them. So therefore, curriculum in the engineering colleges should be fine-tuned that skills like enterprises, business acumen, and managing small-scale industries are really being included into the syllabus. Time and again, industry and academy interactions do happen. It is not that industry and academia, colleges or institutes are working in different districts. Their interaction is there, but these are normally touch upon the soft issues like many cover the issues visiting the faculty or the industries or maybe giving kind of a summer internship and so. But there is a need of intense collaboration. So that is very important because intense collaboration in the sense that it is the more exposure should be given to the faculty as well as for the students. So I look for the future scenario being one when industry and academia have come together to co-create the courses. Today courses are on the one side of it and there is a need from the other side. So we have to co-create together so that the skill set and competencies which will ensure the employment is assured and the individual is selected for the job. I don't think we can talk about employability anymore. Like I think I don't know when Jagdash sir started his own business, but that time I think employ he may not have thought about getting employed somewhere else, but he has created the employment. So like that, we should not be talking about employment. Therefore, academic institutions in the higher education space should take upon themselves that to train the students in a such a manner that they are able to contribute from the day one by maybe employing some of the other people rather than they getting employed. So that is really the missing link between the academia and industry. And some may be there because there is also a lot of demand for the from the industries that need a lot of resource. The second point I would like to share is about very often within the industry sector, different companies have different viewpoints and they are not ready to have a common. The one of the critical challenge for the academia is that suppose we are working in the one domain like defense is marine and defense is one of the growing sector. Another is oil and gas. We are talking about though we are diminishing the oil and fossil fuel, but still there is a need of oil and gas. So all these sectors and industries need different skill sets and different. That is the really challenge in front of the academic institutes. So we need to really hone upon how do we really bring these particular skill set and competencies together. That is a really challenge against in front of academic institutes. So to meet this particular thing, so we have to have a common and more frequent interaction with the industries, that is need of the hour, and that will help really to bridge this gap. So that is why it is important that how do we really take care of needs of different industry sectors and different segments of the market. With this creating large chunks of because of this, what happens if suppose there is the demand is different and the supply is something else, so that will create lot of unemployment. So this unemployment can be reduced by way of bridging this particular lab. And most of the time everybody wanted to have a white collar job. The only way out is to industry and can work in long term consistent solution, so that they will quickly collaborate rather than spending, because need of the today's need is that how to really shorten the time of development. So that is why we need to frequently collaborate with industry, academia, institutes, and converge to our thoughts. That is very important. So that is the only way we have to come out of this. And many courses are like this. There are many interesting case studies of different industries where they have co-created with many academic institutions. There are lot of examples are there where academic institutes and industry have collaborated, and they have developed the syllabus and they have developed the curriculum in such a way that that will meet the requirement of the industry. So it is very, and that course may be of short term, like maybe as low as 3 months or maybe of 18 months, and so that the resource required would be taken care with that. This is very important. The institute should make also to effort that this is covered in the curriculum to inspire more and more people will get the small and medium enterprises. Keeping in this mind, and both Jagdari sir and Samant spoke about how to really indigenize the things and make the meet the need of our country. So Atmanirbhar Bharat movement is catching momentum, and added one of the track many large organizations have not been able to survive onset of the lockdown. All of you know that recently we have had a big pandemic, which was never expected that this will last for almost 2 years. So many industries are not survived during this particular period, and lot of industries are now large industries are catching up, and there is lot of scope for small and medium enterprises. So the unlock which is happening slowly with huge potential, where small and medium enterprises to rise to the occasion, and there is a huge employment potential. So one side we are talking about unemployment, there is also equal opportunities for the employment. So let us see how we approach and tackle the problem of lacking skill and readiness. While predicting the nature of jobs and would be available in future difficult, as I said, it is very difficult to really how do we really have know about the nature of jobs required in the industry. So I dwell upon few points, 3 4 points, which will really help us to really meet this particular demand and supply gap. Because while we are producing a lot of engineers and management students, and on the other side they are remaining unemployed in spite of rapid growth in the industry. So I feel that there are few things which need to be really thought about. One thing is that first and foremost I find is that alignment of curriculum with industry requirements. This is first and foremost requirement. Considering the evolving nature of industry and major changes in the labor market. Earlier, when I studied, or maybe most of the people there on the dais probably have seen that there were fixed particular curriculum, like very basic branches like civil, mechanical, and electrical. Later on, some focus branches were there: electronics and telecommunication, environmental engineering, architectural engineering. So these were the subsets of base branches. But now we have to go further beyond that. So that is very important. And how do we really cope up with this kind of uh, change in the market dynamic? And we have to be really make the syllabus suitable for that, so that curriculum would be in line with the industry requirement. So it has become imperative to assess how best and academic curriculum can address various requirements and demands of the dynamic industry. Today's industry is very dynamic. If you see the Fortune 500 companies, maybe 10 years ago, and today's Fortune 500 companies are altogether different. Never thought that a company like Apple or Microsoft would be the number one companies or maybe top 10 companies that time when it was there, maybe 10-15 years ago. So changes are happening, and we need to really cope up with this. And because change is the only thing which is constant in the environment or in the society. Despite exponential changes in almost every field, college curriculum is often rigid and hard to revise. But the colleges, I'm very happy that when I studied, it was like a government college, and today it is autonomous. So you have got liberty to really fine tune the syllabus. You can input the subject topic whatever you want, and you can more cohesively collaborate with the different industries and find out that what is the need of the industry, and how do we really change the subject or even curriculum more practical. So those kind of curriculum can be addressed with this. So academic can look existing ideology and see if same can be improved and made more practical in approach. So far, as the immense reliance on classroom method and theory have heavy approach, because today, even though we say that a lot of companies have been awarded or recognized as autonomous, but still we are more theoretical, more syllabusable, more exam oriented, which is not really there in the Western world. Because I studied in Carnegie Mellon, that time when I saw there, the companies like Google, Microsoft, and Bosch were there when I was studying in Carnegie Mellon at Pittsburgh. And that time they were so open about the syllabus. The approach totally is different than the US universities and the universities like us. So they are quite open to receive the comments, inputs from the industries, and accordingly they were changing the syllabus and approach towards teaching. So, and one more thing is that a lot of case studies are being taught in the colleges. So you can invite a lot of speakers like you are invited today. From a lot of people are there from the industry. You can invite and they can share their thoughts. May not be some of the things would be directly adoptable as it is, but some of the things can be thought of and maybe suited to your requirement, so that it can be collaborated, so that the resource may be made more suitable for the employment. Furthermore, there are a number of fantastic industry-relevant online courses available also in, and that can be because we at industries we make our own courses for, because once we get the young engineer from the college, we need to groom him. He is not really usable, so we have to train him almost for 1 year and 1.5 years. We make really take a lot of efforts based on the whatever knowledge he earned in the college. So and we groom him and make him more suitable or more desirable to work. What is the need of the industry? So those kind of online courses can be also adaptable in this. Then another point what I wanted to dwell upon is the emphasis on skill-based education. I just wanted to share that a recent NASCOM report suggests that 2 out of 3 million jobs would like to take up a managerial position within 3 years, which is really very good question. But whether he is ready to have that, because while one side I wanted to grow when I get into the industry, and other side, am I really ready to cope up with the kind of demand industry expects from me? So the emphasis is required. Unless until he hone upon his skills, competencies, he may not be, nobody will approach. So then what happens that within the short time, the people get into the change of the job mode. And that makes him like a jack of all trades and master of none, which is not really good. So it is essential that we need to really hone upon his skill-based education in the year itself. So industry will change fast, and newer skills like creative thinking, higher level problem solving, interpersonal skill, innovation, decision making will be in the great demand. So these kind of skills need to be imbibed in him while he is getting taught during the college curriculum. So that is very important. The focus of management institutes need also, this college may not be management, but maybe I don't know in future suppose you adopt the MBA, but in management also a lot of theoretical knowledge is being bombarded on the students, and I think a lot of case studies, like I said that now Simon sir can agree with me, in industry we face a lot of problems, and unless and until student has got the ability to solve the problems and have the patience to really resolve those particular issues, there are a lot of issues not only on the technical front but also interpersonal issues, because the team building is one of the things which is really required. So unless and until we as a team are together, but even though whatsoever competent we are technically, and then we will not deliver a good product at the result. So these are the kind of skills we need to really imbibe into the student. That is very important. Then another is that aspect about is the language. So language is also important. Many good students are there, technically competent, but they are not really in the presentable form. So industry many times what happens. So suppose there is a need of, because today in today's world everybody need to be in the presentable manner. Unless and until whatever I know is I'm not able to really communicate to the next person or the audience or maybe in the group, then I may not be treated as or the well receiver in the group. So the language is another thing which is going to be there. And in most of the engineering colleges or academic institutes, it is ignored, especially in the technical colleges. So that is also need to, because when we studied that, I think hardly there was a subject in engineering for English. So English is also important. So that is one of the things. I spoke about team spirit, and team spirit is also important. That really critical role in determining the success of individual once they join the industry. Third aspect I wanted to talk about the workplace exposure through internship, live projects, and corporate interaction. This is very important. Most of the times, what happens during the whole 4 year course or maybe 3 year course, whatever it is, or whether it is a postgraduate or graduate program. So, unless until we give them a lot of exposure, especially well-timed and well-deliberated exposure to the industry, uh, then they and much needed experience at that particular point of time is very important, because if suppose in the latter part of his career or maybe life he may get exposed to many things, but during that time is very important. So that time he need to get exposed to many things, and what would be the live world when he gets into the industry. That is very important, and that time he should get the exposure, especially through the internship and long-term projects, and so that he can understand the business, how the operations gets run, and how the business is run, and what are the things important in the business or maybe industry. That is the aspect which need to be done. The fourth and last point I wanted to talk about upskilling of the faculty. While we spoke about the students, another thing we need to also talk about and touch upon, with due respect to all faculty members here, but I still wanted to say certain parts of that. Apart from only focusing on the curriculum structure, it is also important to provide the right exposure and training to the faculty as well. While I spoke about the students, it is also important that because when we studied maybe way back in late 90s or maybe early 80s, so that time the environment and the kind of syllabus is altogether different. And today it is altogether different. So if suppose I only kept on having that particular knowledge and experience, today I'm irrelevant in this particular world. So I need to my own and build upon my skills and competencies, so that how to be relevant in today's world also. If suppose that time in this college hardly any computer was there, and today everybody is having the either smartphone or laptop. If suppose today I say that no, that time the laptop was not there, computer, so it is irrematerial whether there is a computer or not. So I need to catch up on the time and see that how I can learn the new things. So that is very important. So for the faculty, it is also important that how do we really lead the guesser. And most of the times, what happens, the faculties do not possess the right kind of industrial experience, because most of the faculties are also there. That what happens when they get out of the college, then they join as a faculty member in the academic institute, and some may join from the industry as well. But whosoever are joining directly as a faculty, they need a lot of industrial experience, because unless and until they have got the background of the background experience of industry, it's very difficult to really how do really they teach the students. So that is why they need a lot of experience of industry. So they can regularly undertake a short-time industrial projects as well, while the students is undertaking the project. Faculties also need to take the project. I will tell again, go back to the some of the German universities, because I visited German universities like Karlsruhe University, Kaiserslautern University, and Dresden University, and few universities like Virginia University in US. The kind of exposure they get as a faculty is that in those particular universities, what I found is that though the project is allotted to the students, the faculty is also become a part of that particular project. The student is having the tenure of academic maybe career of 2 years or 1 year or whatever he is having that particular project for the project. Because once he gets out, pass out, the industry project may get completed or may not get completed. So that time what happens, the the faculty become like a industry manager, and he gets hold of that particular project, and he takes the project forward. So he becomes like an industry manager, and he is more he is responsible for deliverables out of that particular project. So suppose we as a KPML given the project of BLDC. Suppose you have given that particular project to some of the students, and the students get passed out. There is a huge gap. If suppose there is no hand holding, the faculty can make the really hand holding between one batch to other batch, so that industry project does not get suffered. So that is very important. So the faculty need this kind of, and he has to take these kind of short-term projects in collaboration with industry sector. This will help faculty in line with the current industry. So it would be great to see employees coming forward and working exclusively for the academicians. So we as an industry also need to come forward. Many times what happens, the faculties are interested and many times industry is not ready. That is also the scenario. So there are, and things are changing because industry, they need to be relevant in the, otherwise they will get closed down. So that is why they have some deliverables also for the industry. But industry also need to come forward to offer these kind of projects to the colleges so that they remain relevant in this. And the successful model will ensure that benefits for everyone. Graduating students will find their transition into industry roles smoother, and the employers will be able to hire the people who are skilled and job ready from the academic institute. This will give a lot of confidence to the students. And it is also imperative that faculties to be in close interaction with the industry and market dynamics to understand and appreciate the kind of skills. So also it is very important that faculties and are also quite watch kind of thing and need to closely watch the what is happening in the marketplace. How the market is. If suppose one sector is booming up and what is happening to other sector. Accordingly, at the back end, we need to fine tune our curriculum, syllabus, so that the boys and girls are getting ready for their holding or maybe having shouldering the responsibilities of those particular market situation. Because suppose today one sector is, suppose infrastructure is booming up in the industry. So we need to see that how the students going out of this particular college are ready for holding or maybe shouldering the responsibility of infrastructure projects. There are a lot of projects coming up, like malls are coming, warehouses are coming, then lot of river linkage projects are coming up. Then on the parallelly, there are a lot of expenditure is government and lot of budget is being given to defense. So under Atmanirbhar, because we want to be self-reliant, uh, because of that Ukraine, Swaman sir spoke about it, and Ukraine war, a lot of dependency is getting reduced from the outside. Today we are importing a lot of maybe defense or maybe warships or maybe arms or weapons from the country like Russia or maybe America. Tomorrow I don't know how they will cooperate with us. So that is why government is spending a lot of budget on this particular defense sector. So how do we really getting ready for that? Suppose tomorrow we wanted to make a submarine or tomorrow we wanted to make a warship. Are we ready as a country for that? And we need to really fine tune our curriculum syllabus for that. So solar or maybe nuclear is another area in the power sector. So are we really ready to kind of face the challenges? So I think with this kind of preparedness at the back end, we'll have suitable curriculum at the back end. So that will cater the need of industries for the sustainable future. So with this, I would like to conclude this my session of maybe short talk or maybe long talk. I don't know how well received it is, but I'm quite open to whenever it's opportunity we will discuss offline also. But thank you, ma'am and sir, for giving me opportunity to be part of this particular curriculum. Thank you, and I wish all the best for this particular curriculum. Thank you.
It was really a treat to listen to you, sir. You have rightly pointed out what is the need of the art. Being alumnus, you have that affection that our institute should grow, and all the students should take it in the right spirit and work along with the correct policies, whatever led by the government. We need to follow best practices to uh, uh, result into sustainable development in all the dimensions. Definitely, alignment of curriculum with industry is required, and as an autonomous institute, we are already following that along with the internship at every semester break. We are looking forward for more and more hand-in-hand relation with the industry. And according to your suggestion that online courses are available and our students are already enrolling with it, and definitely the campus scenario with respected Acharya sir's contribution, our training and placement cell is doing wonderful job. So everyone should focus ourselves for the skill-based education, which is utmost a need. Uh, Beyond that, the thing which you have pointed out that we should introspect ourselves for what will be our individual contribution towards self-development, local, regional, national, and ultimately global, because Earth is not an individual's property. If one country is exploiting, it is hampering to other. So we need to care for our mother Earth. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us this vision. Uh, Even Saman sir and other Jagdare sir all have guided in a very nice manner that according to the concept of this conference. Thank you all for your valuable words.
Now, I would like to request Dr. Deshmukh sir for the vote of
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and everyone. Actually, this is very difficult task to say thanks to everyone because each and everyone is contributing, and I miss some of the people to whom I need to say thanks because we have started this conference activity before 2-3 months back, and then each by the time so many faculties have involved in all the activities like going for the publication, also collecting the paper, and then providing different aspects. So I would like to first of all thanks to all the guests who has joined here for this conference integration program. So Saman sir as well as Birazar as Jagdari sir, all the people who has taken their time and uh, to join this conference integration program. Thank you also. I would like to say thanks to AG sir for providing an opportunity for all the organizers to organize this particular conference and to make it success. Next, I would like to say thanks to all the sponsors like KPML is there, Kirloskar is there, and they have supported us in terms of money and as well as in other funding parts. And that is what I'm very much thankful to all this. Also, I would like to say thanks to all IEEE section chapter, Pune. They have supported us in technical sponsorship. And I need to say thanks to our convener madam, joint secretary, Mangesh sir, all committee members who has contributed in all the aspects, like preparing the publications and all the stuff. I would like to say thanks to all HODs who has contributed to create different tracks, and they are going to also organize some keynote speech and all the peoples. And also, I'd like to say thanks to all reviewers as well as keynote speakers who has supported for our entire program. All deans, all faculties, all teaching and non-teaching staffs, as well as participants and all the students who has contributed by directly or indirectly into this conference. So thank you all. Thank you for joining with this conference. And I would like to say best of luck to each and everyone for this entire 2 days conference. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir.
We are happy to see our retired Honorable Head of the Department of Applied Mechanics, Dr. Y. M. Google, who is an icon in the area of research So we welcome you. Thank you, sir, for coming, and felicitate sir with offering applause. I request Joint Secretary of this conference, Professor A.B. Lange, to felicitate Google, sir. Please give it a big round of applause. His research contributions present in the slide. He is just thank you, sir. Thank you for taking your time and being present over here. Now, so this is the closing of inaugural ceremony, and after this, at all the departments, the further schedule will be conducted. Yes. I request all the dignitaries to please inaugurate the science exhibition which is arranged downstairs. And all the audience also will follow and have a round.